Today, I want to speak with you about ego medicine. How do you explain to someone who believes that the earth is flat, that indeed the earth is round, that it's a ball of ocean and green forest hurtling through space at 6,000 miles per second? How do you explain that to someone who just looks ahead of them and sees that there's only flat land in front of them? How do you explain to someone that they're sick because the earth is sick? That as the fate of the earth goes, so goes our individual fate. That we're not an island disconnected from the rest of the cosmos, but that we're all interconnected with each other. That I cannot be healthy if you're not well. This is ego medicine. Ego medicine is about looking at the big picture. It's about seeing the totality and not only the little fragment, the little piece. Today, we've all become specialists. If you have something that hurts and you go to a doctor, they'll send you to a specialist. They'll send you to a disease specialist or to an organ specialist. And the problem, of course, is that nobody is an entire systems specialist. Nobody looks at the totality of your system, of your body, but as an isolated number of parts, of pieces. And this is why so much of our health care practices and our life direction is breaking down, because we become master of the pieces, but we become unable to operate at the level of systems, of an entire system. Ego medicine has to do with rising above any obstacle that you meet. The ego knows no obstacles. She simply flies higher until there's nothing blocking her way. Whereas our Western way of thinking is you meet an obstacle and you meet that obstacle and you confront it and you chip away at it until you break through. The shamans call that mouse medicine. You know how a mouse can eat its way right through a wall? Well, ego medicine is not about getting out of the box, but about flying out of it altogether, about understanding that thinking outside the box is impossible, that thinking is the box. So how do you get to this place of no thought, where now you have direct experience of reality, unconditioned by your thinking imposing a model onto it that it needs to conform to? The shamans understand that every prophecy is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Every prophecy is self-fulfilling. You get a diagnosis and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You become a statistic at that point. That the universe will mirror back to you perfectly the condition of your love and the condition of your intent. The universe will mirror back, will reflect back whatever internal map of reality it is that you carry. Ego medicine has to do with understanding this. First, understanding that the universe reflects back to you whatever it is that you hold in your belief structure. If you believe in miracles, the universe reflects miracles back to you. If you're convinced that you're not deserving, that you're not a good human being, that you're not able to get anything done right, that the universe will reflect that back to you perfectly, exquisitely. That is the character of the universe. In India, they call it Indra's net. Indra's net is a net, and at every knot, there's a perfectly reflective bubble, mirrored glass, that reflects all of the other millions and billions of bubbles in it. And that's the nature of the cosmos. Ego medicine has to do with becoming a map maker, and not only a follower of maps, becoming a cartographer of the visible and invisible worlds, so that you can discover something you've never experienced before. This is particularly hard to convince scientists of, because the scientific method says that if you study and observe reality carefully, that you'll be able to measure it accurately and come to accurate conclusions about it. Whereas we understand that wherever biases you have, that reality will prove you right. Whatever scientific experiment you design is 80% of it set out to confirm a set of assumptions that you already hold. In science, it's called the experimenter effect. And there was one beautiful piece of research done at San Francisco School District 30 years ago by Robert Rosenthal, a psychologist. And he administered IQ tests to children from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And then he did not score the test, but he picked 3 children at random from every classroom. And he told the teachers, these are the 3 kids based on their IQ test, their intelligence test, that are probably going to be doing the best in the coming year. At the end of the school year, he retested all of the children, and then they scored the test, the early ones and the latter ones. And they had not even looked at them since then. And they found that the children that they had said to the teachers are the ones that are the most intelligent and going to do best actually improved their IQ scores by 20 points, by 20%. Extraordinary. And IQ is not supposed to change. The experimenter effect. Now, this is why so much of what we call science today is hokey. It's bad science, because the experimenter doesn't take his or her biases into account when they're testing their theory out against reality. So what the ego medicine does is that it allows you to fly above the situation, see the detail with lucidity, and at the same time, understand that the earth is round. The ego can see the curvature of the earth and understands that the quality of the universe is mirroring back to you the condition of your love and of your intent. The love in the Andean traditions that I trained in the shamanic traditions, is called the munai. Munai is the love of creation. It's what physicists call the quantum field. And your munai is not a fuzzy feeling that you have in your belly for someone, or lusting after someone, or wanting someone because you know that they get you and they understand you. No, that is lust, and that is longing, and that's trapped, walking into a nightmare, literally. Munai is the basic fundamental operating principle of the cosmos. Is how all of creation happens. It comes from love and it returns to love. Love is the inherent quality of the quantum field. It's compassion, generosity, abundance, joy. All of these are the qualities of this that we call the munai, the great love of creation. It's what a jaguar feels as it leaps from a tree and snaps the neck of a gazelle that it will take to feed its little ones, or that the rain feels for the flowers. It's a quality of nature. It's not that fuzzy feeling that we get for someone. That's different. So munai, the quality of your love, and then the quality of your intent. These are the 2 criteria that the universe will mirror back to you perfectly. If you live in anger, or if you live in resentment, the universe is going to mirror that right back to you and convince you that you are a victim of anger and resentment, because that's what you keep bumping into on the road. Now, if you are convinced that the universe operates on miracles, you live miraculously, you live magically. But it has to be a deep and true conviction born of your experience. The quality of your love, and then the quality of your intention, of your intentionality, of your intending. And this is a purification of the mind. The shaman achieves this by leaving the chicken coop and soaring like an eagle. I remember saying to an old mentor that I worked with for many years, Don Manuel, and he asked me one time, and he said, Alberto, do you want to make love like a chicken or like an eagle? And I said, I was a young man, so making love was a metaphor that I could really relate to. I said, I want to make love like an eagle. Eagles make love in flight. They'll come together in glorious union in flight. Extraordinary. I want to make love like an eagle, not like a chicken. He says, well, then you have to leave the chicken coop and the regular feedings and know that you're not going to be protected from the fox or the wolf. You gotta leave the chicken coop. You're living in the chicken coop. You gotta leave it. And many people leave the chicken coop and become like pigeons. They fly up to a telephone wire and perch there, pooping on automobile windshields. But that's not being an eagle. That's just commenting and criticizing everyone else around you that is still living in the chicken coop. The eagle has to be willing to take the updrafts, to come to the very, very outermost edge of the atmosphere, where there's only the heat of the sun in her back, and to look up at the stars and see the vastness of space, and to know that you're not going to get the regular feedings, to know that you have broken free from this world of masters and slaves. The same old man said to me one time, Alberto, you live in a world of masters and slaves. Of course, it's better in your world, he said, to be a master than to be a slave. But both of them are caught. They're both caught in bondage. Whereas he said, I am free. I can see your world from mine, but you cannot see my world from yours. This is what eagle medicine will do for you, will help you to break out of the bondage, of the tremendous bondage of this world of masters and slaves that we have been educated to live in, and that we are convinced is reality. It is not. It's simply the reality of masters and slaves. And this is what the Exodus from Egypt is about. When Moses says to his people, come, we must leave slavery. This Pharaoh has us here as slaves. We're building pyramids for the pharaohs. We must leave Egypt. And the Israelites, many of them chose to stay behind, but the ones that followed, they didn't know they were about to go into the desert for 40 years. And Moses kept reminding them. He said, we're not going to the promised land. We're leaving slavery. And leaving slavery, freedom is the promised land, is the place of all promise coming true. And this is what the medicine woman, the medicine man attains when she puts on her eagle wings and learns to fly always wing to wing with the Great Spirit. This is the gift of eagle, the vision of eagle, of having the acuity to see a little mouse scurrying in the bush 1,000 meters below, or looking up and seeing the constellations like no one else can. The eagle is able to fly wing to wing with the Great Spirit, to co-create. She understands that the universe always mirrors back to you perfectly the condition of your love and your intent. If you then improve the condition of your love and of your intent, you're able to co-create with Spirit. The universe will mirror that back for you, for your family, for your village, and for all of humanity and for the earth. So the eagle medicine is about leaving the chicken coop, leaving the familiar feedings where we are bartering for the next meal and we're paying for it with our freedom, leaving the world of masters and slaves and tasting freedom. Tasting that freedom that you can only taste once you spread your wings. Now, the challenging part here is that once you make that choice, the spirit of the eagle, mother, sister eagle, will come to help you and support you. She will come to teach you that you do have wings, maybe baby wings at the beginning, little wings. And at the beginning, you're in the nest. The nest is padded with these soft eagle down, eagle feathers. And at a certain point, the great eagle will come and nudge you out of the nest. And this is the most difficult challenge for eagle medicine. You're nudged out of the nest, and then you're plummeting down towards the earth, and you're going, oh my God, am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to be able to fly? And you expand your wings, and you catch an updraft, and you're free. And you're free. The danger, of course, is that we'll want to stay in the nest for a very, very long time. It's warm, it's safe, it's cuddly. But it begins to smell after a while. And then you begin to die. Then you don't step into that greater calling of dreaming the world into being with beauty and with grace. So and I invite you to step into eagle medicine, to summon this great power that is represented in every culture in the planet. You go to Asia, you have the Garuda. You have the eagle being the state symbol of many European countries. The American eagle stands for freedom. It does. It is the bird of freedom. But you must leave the chicken coop. You must make that determination to go on the great journey. Call on the mother, sister, eagle, come and teach me to spread my own wings. Come into my heart. Spread your wings inside my heart, that I may learn to fly wing to wing with the Great Spirit, and that I may co-create the destiny of our people, of humanity, of the earth, which is the task that's been entrusted to us by the Great Spirit. Thank you for joining me today. Spread your wings. Take them out for a test flight. And don't be afraid if you find yourself falling down towards the earth. Open your wings. You'll catch that updraft that will take you to the heavens and to the sky. Aho.